Discover how a black single dad's incredible three-move chess victory changed everything forever. Marcus clenched the small wooden chess piece, feeling its weight in his palm as the chaos of Chicago swirled around him. The bustling streets were alive with hope and hardship, echoing the struggles he faced daily as a single dad. His heart raced as it always did. This wasn't just a game. It was a lifeline for him and his exceptional 10-year-old son, Jamal. Chess was their escape. It was there, on the checkered board, that they built dreams amidst the pitter-patter of life overfilled with uncertainty. Yet, as he looked at Jamal's eager face, an unsettling truth loomed. Their beloved after-school chess program was in grave danger of closing. "Dad, can you believe there's going to be a championship?" Jamal's eyes sparkled. "I can win the scholarships. Just think of it." Marcus wanted to believe, but doubt gnawed at him, reminding him that hope often shimmered just out of reach. Funding cuts were merciless, and the wealthy benefactor backing the tournament had opinions that stung. Why would someone from our neighborhood excel at chess? His recent comments rang through Marcus's mind, fueling his resolve. Jamal had as much right to shine as anyone else. They just needed to get there. Together they practiced tirelessly, their laughter mixing with the city buzz, chess pieces clacking, victories savored, and losses faced together. One night, after a disastrous practice that left Jamal in tears, Marcus felt the heaviness settle in his chest like a stone. As they sat staring at the board in silence, he searched for answers, something to bring light into that darkness. That's when he stumbled upon a three-move victory strategy, a plan sharper than any blade. This could be their breakthrough. Before we continue, I need to let you know about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system, and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, hit that bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can drop a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, let me know in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen. Now let's continue. The excitement for the tournament began to swell. Families rallied together, their cheers blending into a symphony of support. But beneath the surface, tension ran high. The day arrived, and the energy was electric. It crackled in the air and filled their lungs. Home turf, the friendly faces of the community surrounding them, ignited their spirit. Standing with Jamal before the illustrious board, their affluent opponent smirked, a stark reminder that their journey to victory wouldn't come easy. Marcus could feel his heart echoing in his ears as the pieces moved into place. Every move symbolized their fight against societal prejudice, against the weight of expectation, against the barriers holding them down. The moment hung in silence, the crowd behind them gloriously tense. This was more than a game. It was a rebellion against a backdrop of hardship, a symbol of resilience and hope. Would the echo of gunshots fade behind the sound of applause? Would this be their moment? A sign that merit would triumph over prejudice? The board awaited their next move, each piece a thread in their dreams. As he glanced at Jamal, Marcus felt an overwhelming wave of hope wash over him, invigorating his spirit. The stakes were higher than ever. With the weight of their community watching, the final move was now in reach. Would they break the barriers, or would they go home defeated, dreams still unfulfilled? The answer would change everything forever. The room buzzed with anticipation. Marcus felt Jamal beside him, a heartbeat of energy and dreams. The chessboard gleamed under the bright lights, each square a promise. They had prepared for this. Marcus took a deep breath, remembering all the late nights and early mornings, the relentless practice that had led them here. "Are you ready?" Jamal whispered, glancing up with wide eyes that sparkled with determination. "Ready as we'll ever be," Marcus replied, giving his son a reassuring smile. The nervous energy coursed through him, but he had to keep it together. This was Jamal's moment, and it was time to show everyone what they were made of. The match kicked off with a flurry of pieces clicking and sliding black against white, under the watchful gaze of the spectators. Each clash seemed to resonate, echoing the struggles they had faced. Every time Marcus moved a piece, it felt like a statement, each one whispering proudly, "We belong here." Time ticked away, and the weight of the moment pressed against Marcus's chest. He could see the affluent opponent scouting their moves, eyes narrowed, impatience radiating from him like a feral predator. Yet, Marcus couldn't focus on him. His attention remained steadfastly on Jamal. The boy was engrossed, strategizing, weighing each option. "Remember our strategy," Marcus reminded him softly when they had a brief moment to connect. "3 moves." Jamal nodded, determination written all over his face. This was it, the strategy they had practiced countless times, a simple, effective maneuver that had brought them victories before. With renewed resolve, Jamal began his assault, executing the moves with a confidence that surprised even Marcus. The crowd leaned forward, whispering as the pieces fell. There was a palpable shift, an energy that rippled through the audience, ignited by Jamal's cleverness. Could they really do this? Marcus held tighter to that thought. Then came the moment, a blunder from the opponent. The prestigious player miscalculated his next move, leaving an opening. Jamal seized it boldly, bravely. There it was, the chance they had been waiting for. "Now, finish it," Marcus urged, barely containing his excitement. Jamal took a breath, focusing hard on the board. With nimble fingers, Jamal executed the last part of the plan. The pieces danced under his command, and just like that the game flipped. The opponent's smirk vanished, replaced by disbelief. Jamal had locked in the victory, sealing it with a final move that echoed through the room like a powerful drum. Cheers erupted, washing over Marcus like a warm tide. He could hardly believe it. Jamal had done it. They had done it. As they hugged tightly, crushed by the weight of their triumph, Marcus felt tears prick at his eyes. The championship had been captured, but more importantly, the message had been sent. Victory was possible. In the midst of the celebration, an unexpected figure approached. The benefactor, an imposing man dressed in a tailored suit, eyes narrowing as he assessed Jamal and Marcus. "Well played," he started, but there was something about his tone that hinted at a bigger game, one that had yet to unfold. Marcus's heart raced again, this time with apprehension. What did he want? And could this victory be tarnished before it even began? The reality of their situation loomed just ahead. What awaited them now, after this gleaming moment of success? Marcus steadied himself, ready to face whatever storm was brewing. Would it lead to another chance, or another battle they'd have to fight? The next move was about to define everything. Marcus felt the exhilaration start to fade as the gravity of the stranger's gaze weighed heavy on him. The crowd's cheers faded into a dull roar, the bright lights of the room dimming slightly in contrast to the sudden shadow cast by the figure before them. This benefactor, whoever he was, had a presence that demanded attention. "Thank you," Jamal said, still riding high on adrenaline. His innocent words hung in the air, oblivious to the tension spiraling around them. The man took a step closer, adjusting his cufflinks. "You've shown remarkable skill today. Quite rare for someone so young." His voice was smooth, but there was a sharp edge that made Marcus bristle. "Who are you?" Marcus asked, feeling protective. "What do you want?" "Straight to the point." "I like that." The man smiled, though it didn't reach his eyes. "I'm Simon Walker. I run a chess academy with connections to several prestigious tournaments, and I believe your son has tremendous potential." Jamal's eyes lit up, but Marcus felt a knot tighten in his stomach. "Potential? You mean another chance to compete?" "Exactly," Walker said. "But I'd like to offer more than just participation. We can provide sponsorship, training, everything he needs to reach the next level." Marcus could sense the flood of excitement overwhelming Jamal. A dream so close suddenly felt tangible, and yet something nagged at Marcus. "What's the catch?" Walker raised an eyebrow, feigning innocence. "No catch, just commitment. We have a reputation to uphold. We only work with candidates who can prove themselves continuously." Jamal looked at Marcus, his enthusiasm bursting forth. "Dad, this could change everything. We could train with the best. We can go to bigger tournaments." Marcus's heart battled with his mind. Jamal had worked so hard. This was the dream they talked about at night, the future they envisioned together. But Marcus knew the cost of chasing dreams. One slip, and it could trap them instead of lifting them. "Can we think about it? We just won a championship," Marcus said, trying for balance. "Of course," Walker replied, his eyes glinting like he was already 3 steps ahead. "I'll be around. Don't take too long." With a courteous nod, he turned on his heel, disappearing into the crowd. Jamal jumped up and down, practically vibrating with excitement. "Did you see how fast he recognized my skills? This is our moment, Dad." "Yes, it is," Marcus said, forcing a smile while his mind swirled. But it's also a big decision. We need to make sure this is right for you, Jamal. Jamal's excitement faltered slightly. But what if this is my only chance? Marcus looked into his son's eyes, seeing the unshakable belief that fueled him. Every chance is important, but we won't jump headfirst without understanding what we're diving into. Marcus felt the weight of fatherhood protecting Jamal while nurturing his dreams. Walking home that night, they both basked in their recent victory but could feel an uncertainty looming just ahead. As they reached the front door, Jamal paused. "Dad, what if it all ends just like this, with that guy coming back to take me away?" Marcus's heart sank. This wasn't just about chess anymore. This was about choices, paths, and the uncharted territory of potential. It was about trust and transformation, the kind that could reshape their lives forever. "Let us sit down tomorrow," Marcus said quietly, "and talk about what we really want." Jamal nodded, uncertainty flickering across his face. As they entered the home filled with the smell of warm dinner, Marcus was left with an unsettling thought. Was he making the right choice in even considering Walker's offer? Would that door lead to a brighter future? Or were they stepping into a game where the odds stacked against them? With his mind racing and heart heavy, Marcus realized the next move could either break them or make them soar. What path would they choose? The next morning unfolded slowly, sunlight filtering through the curtains, casting golden stripes across the kitchen floor. The smell of pancakes filled the air, and Jamal was already at the table, tapping his fingers eagerly on the wood. Marcus could see the spark in his son's eyes, a mix of hope and anxiety. "Did you sleep okay?" Marcus asked, pouring syrup over a stack of pancakes. "Yeah, but I kept thinking about what that guy said," Jamal replied, his voice almost bubbling with energy. "Do you think we should take his offer?" Marcus took a deep breath, sitting down across from him. "That's what we need to talk about. I know this means a lot to you, but we have to think it through, really understand what's at stake." Jamal frowned, his fork frozen in midair. "What do you mean?" "It's a chance to be great." His words rushed out, filled with youthful naivety. "It is," but Marcus hesitated. He searched for the right words. "What if it leads to more pressure? What if it changes everything we have right now?" Jamal's eyes narrowed, confusion creeping onto his face. "But what if it's the opportunity of a lifetime? You always taught me to seize my chances." "That's true," Marcus acknowledged, feeling the pride in his heart. He admired Jamal's passion, the fierce determination that so mirrored his own when he was young. But remember, opportunities can change shape. They can be a blessing or a curse. We need to know what we're stepping into. In the silence that followed, the weight of their conversation hung heavy. Jamal poked at his pancakes, guilt swirling within him. I don't want to waste my chance," he said quietly, looking down. Marcus reached across the table, resting his hand on Jamal's. "You're not wasting anything. Whatever happens, I'm here for you. But we need to be cautious." Just then, the doorbell rang, pulling their gaze. Jamal's excitement flickered back, a grin appearing as if on cue. "It's him." "Not yet," Marcus warned, though he felt his own pulse quicken. "Remember, we need to think this through." But before he could say more, Jamal dashed to the door, his heart likely pounding loud enough for Marcus to hear. A moment later, Walker stood on the doorstep, casually leaning against the frame as if he belonged there. "Good morning," he greeted, flashing a smile that felt predatory. "I thought I'd drop by to see how you two were feeling about our conversation." Jamal beamed up at him. "We were just talking about it." Marcus could see the gleam in Walker's eyes. The game was unfolding, and he was more than ready to play. "Excellent." Walker stepped inside, his presence filling the room with an almost suffocating energy. "I'm here to answer any questions you might have." Heart thudding, Marcus exchanged a glance with Jamal. There was a moment of uncertainty, a tiny crack of doubt slicing through the excitement in Jamal's face. "Let us sit down," Walker said, ushering them to the living room. The air felt thick, charged with potential. As they settled into their seats, Marcus felt the shift in energy. He had prepared for this moment, but now, facing the man who held the key to Jamal's dreams, uncertainty washed over him like a wave. "Tell me, what do you envision for your future, Jamal?" Walker started, eyes fixated on his young target. "It's time to dream big," but before Jamal could respond, Marcus held up a hand. "We have questions first," he said, his voice steady despite the turmoil brewing inside. Would this moment seal their fate or unveil a path they never anticipated? Walker paused, eyes narrowing, as if gauging the fear that clutched Marcus's heart. And at that moment, Marcus knew they were on the brink of something monumental. Whatever came next would change everything. But was that change for the better or for worse? Walker leaned back in his seat, fingers steepled as he surveyed both Marcus and Jamal, his smile almost too tight, as if he was savoring a secret that neither of them knew. The air crackled with tension, a palpable mix of excitement and dread. "Very well, Marcus," he said slowly. "What's on your mind?" Marcus shifted in his chair, feeling the weight of Jamal's eager gaze burning into him. "We need to understand your intentions. This doesn't just affect Jamal, it affects our family. What are the real stakes here?" Walker chuckled lightly, waving his hand as though dismissing Marcus's concerns. "Stakes? You speak as if this is a game. What I'm offering is far more than that. This is a launchpad into greatness for Jamal, fame, fortune, the chance to make a difference." Jamal leaned forward, lost in the frenzy of Walker's words. "But what about the training? How intense would it be? I'm ready to put in the work. I don't mind pushing myself." "Let us not get ahead of ourselves," Marcus interjected, feeling a protective fire ignite in his chest. "We've seen young athletes crushed under expectations. And what if this isn't what it's cracked up to be? We need more information." "Marcus, trust me," Walker replied, his tone shifting to one of steel. "I speak from experience. This path could transform your son into someone extraordinary. But he'll need resilience and commitment. Are you ready for that, Jamal?" Jamal's jaw clenched, determination hardening his features. "Yeah, I've been practicing for years, and you said this is my chance. I don't want to let it slip away." A flicker of doubt crossed Marcus's mind, yet he could see Jamal's spirit igniting. The boy wasn't the little kid who used to saunter around with a baseball glove. He was growing into someone driven, someone hungry for greatness. "Let us take a breath here," Marcus said, trying to rein in the whirlwind. "Jamal, you need to be sure this is what you want. This isn't just about you, it's also about us as a family." "I know." Jamal shot back, his voice rising slightly. "But Dad, if I don't take this chance, what will I have? What if we're stuck here forever?" Walker observed with a smirk, as if he relished the friction between father and son. "You see, Marcus, your son possesses vision. That's rare. I could mold that, shape him into something incredible. Or it could break him." Marcus pressed, his heart racing as he fought to steer them through the storm of emotions swirling in the room. Walker leaned in, fixing his gaze on Marcus. "Life is about risks, isn't it? Every great achievement is birthed from stepping into the unknown. Are you ready for your son to be extraordinary, or will you keep him safe at home?" Silence fell, heavy and charged. Jamal's eyes shimmered with unyielding hope, while Marcus felt a surge of despair. He wanted to protect his son, but feared he might inadvertently hold him back from the life he dreamed of. "You have to make a choice," Walker continued, his voice a low, persuasive whisper. "What future do you envision for Jamal?" Their eyes met, and in that moment, Marcus felt the words pressing against his chest like a weight. Could he allow Jamal to make this leap? And if he did, would he be strong enough to catch him if he fell? "Think about it," Walker said smoothly, rising from his seat as if the meeting was concluded. "You have time, but opportunity waits for no one." As he walked toward the door, Marcus's head swam with questions. Was it possible to risk everything to potentially gain everything? With Walker gone, the house felt emptier. Jamal's excitement dimmed, confusion mingling with the spark he'd held just minutes before. "What do we do, Dad?" Jamal asked, eyes searching for clarity. Marcus breathed deeply, wrestling with his own emotions. A single choice had the power to shape the direction of their lives. Would it bind them together or tear them apart? All uncertainty hung in the air as they faced an uncertain future. What path would they choose to walk down together? Marcus sat back in his chair, a storm brewing in his mind. Jamal's gaze, filled with hope and longing, tugged at his heart. "We can't jump into this without thinking it through," he finally said, trying to grasp the right words. "This isn't just about training for a sport. It's about your future, your happiness." Jamal's shoulders drooped, disappointment washing over his face. "But Dad, what if I don't take this chance? What if I end up regretting it? I really want to chase this dream." "I understand," Marcus responded, anxiety threading his voice. But what if it doesn't go as planned? What if the pressure becomes too much? I've seen kids at your age crumble. Jamal's frustration burned brightly. You think I can't handle it? I'm not a kid anymore. I'm ready to fight for what I want. The boyish defiance struck a chord. Marcus reflected for a moment, and a part of him marveled at the strong young man before him. I believe in you, he admitted softly, sincerity coloring his voice. But I also want to protect you from the harsh realities out there. Silence lingered, the air thick with unspoken fears and dreams. Then Jamal took a deep breath, steadying himself. Let us make a list, then. The pros and cons. If you're scared, I get it. But I need you to trust me. Please? Marcus nodded slowly, appreciating the shift in Jamal's approach. All right, let us do it together. They sat together on the old couch, the worn fabric comforting in its familiarity. Jamal grabbed a notebook from the table, flipping it open to a clean page. He chewed on a pencil as he thought, glancing up at Marcus for his input. Okay, pros first. I get to train with the best, and Walker really believes in me. Marcus scribbled down the points, heartening despite his worry. That's a good start. And you'll grow as an athlete, no doubt about it. Cons? Jamal asked, brow furrowed as he contemplated. It could take a toll on my schoolwork. And, what if I fail? The words rattled in the room like ice in a glass. Marcus felt the chill of that what if slide down his back. We can address that. Managing your time could help, but you can't ignore your education either. Right, Jamal said, nodding. And if I'm not ready for the pressure, I could burn out. Marcus felt proud of Jamal's insight. Exactly. It's about balance, son. They continued their list, and with each point, both the fear and excitement became more tangible. Jamal's passion ignited, his imagination lighting up as he imagined the possibilities. Yet, Marcus couldn't shake the weight of his own fears. Dad, Jamal's voice broke through his thoughts. What if we talked to Walker again? Maybe we could ask him more things, like what the training really involves. Maybe, Marcus murmured, his mind spinning. But I want to make sure you're fully aware of what you might face. Yeah, but it'll be worth it in the end, right? Jamal's eyes were bright, as if a new door had opened before him. I hope so, Marcus replied, a flicker of warmth spreading through him, mixed with uncertainty. As they compiled their lists, the room gradually filled with a quiet determination, threading their hopes together like strands of a strong rope. Just then, a message pinged on Marcus's phone. Glancing at the screen, his heart skipped. It was from Walker, proposing a follow-up meeting. Marcus felt caught between fear and excitement, each emotion battling for dominance. Together, they now stood at a crossroads where courage required risking everything. But as he looked over at Jamal, determination radiating from him, could this be the chance they've been waiting for? What do we do? Marcus asked, glancing at his son, knowing the answer was about to transform everything. Marcus stared at his son, searching for the right words, but the storm inside him raged on. He wanted to say yes, to support Jamal's dreams, but the fear in his heart made him hesitate. The phone buzzed again, pulling him from his thoughts. It was a simple message from Walker with just a time and place for their meeting. Yet it felt monumental. How about we meet him tomorrow? Jamal suggested, his voice full of eagerness. The adrenaline in his eyes made Marcus's heart race, a powerful mix of happiness and dread. Tomorrow? Marcus echoed. That seems quick. Are you sure you want to go so soon? More than anything, I want to hear what he has to say. We'll bring our lists and ask questions, Jamal proclaimed. His excitement was infectious, and for a moment, Marcus allowed himself to feel hopeful. Okay, but remember, we can't rush into decisions just because it feels right at the moment. We have to weigh everything carefully, Marcus warned, bracing himself. I know, Dad, but I can handle this. Please trust me. Jamal's eyes shimmered with a determination Marcus hadn't seen before, sharp and laser-focused. The next day, they arrived at the training center a few minutes early, the warm sun beating down on them. The building loomed ahead, modern and intimidating, a stark contrast to their humble home. Marcus felt a knot tightening in his stomach. Jamal seemed unfazed. He strutted ahead, confidence radiating from him like a beacon. As they entered, the smell of sweat and determination hung in the air. Walker was waiting, standing by a field, looking sharp in his athletic gear. Jamal. Marcus, he greeted them with a wide smile. Great to see you both. Ready to learn today? Jamal bounced on his feet, nodding vigorously. Absolutely. We've got questions. Awesome, Walker replied, motioning for them to join him. Let us make this a productive meeting. Marcus followed, trying to suppress the wave of apprehension. Walker began talking about his training philosophies, emphasizing discipline, resilience, and the importance of setting realistic goals. For Jamal, each word resonated like a familiar beat of a song. How do you handle pressure? Jamal asked, the question pouring out of him. I've been worried about that. Walker's face lit up, impressed by Jamal's candidness. Great question. Pressure is part of the game, but learning to use it to fuel your passion can set you apart. You need to find your rhythm, just like a chess player does before making a move. Marcus felt a swell of pride as he watched his son engage. Jamal was soaking in every piece of advice, like a sponge absorbing water. But as they moved deeper into the discussion, the focus shifted to chronic injuries and balancing sports with school. This reminded Marcus of why he'd been hesitant in the first place. What about school, Walker? If he dedicates so much time to training, what happens if he slips? Marcus asked, his voice steady but firm. Walker met his gaze directly. The key is balance. That's what separates the good from the great. If he can manage his time, he can chase both dreams, he said, eyes glimmering with conviction. Jamal glanced between the two men, his father, filled with protective instincts, and Walker, who looked like a mentor ready to challenge him. A wave of confidence washed over him, and he leaned forward. I want to be great. I won't let you down. Marcus felt a flicker of fear mixed with pride. Could Jamal really juggle it all? Would he succeed? As Walker continued detailing a program, Jamal's excitement escalated, and despite Marcus's ongoing doubts, he couldn't help but feel pulled along. Yet, as they wrapped up, Marcus noticed Jamal's shoulders tense slightly whenever talk turned to competition. Was he truly ready for this world? Let me think it over, Marcus finally said, feeling a weight settle in his heart. One decision can change everything, Jamal. Jamal caught his breath, the challenge gleaming in his eyes. I'll prove I can handle it. Just give me a chance. The discussion ended, but Marcus knew this was only the beginning. As they walked out, a question lingered in the air, binding them tighter. Would they step into this uncharted territory together or cautiously retreat into the comfort of the known? A sudden noise interrupted their thoughts. A loud crash from behind the training center sent their hearts racing. Marcus turned, curiosity and concern pulling him back. What now? Marcus's heart pounded as he turned toward the source of the sound. Jamal stood frozen beside him, eyes wide with both fear and excitement. It was just a simple crash, yet it felt like an omen, a turning point laden with possibility. He took a breath, squaring his shoulders, trying to quell the anxiety that twisted his stomach. Should we check it out? Jamal asked, his voice barely above a whisper. Yeah, let us see what's going on, Marcus replied, his tone firm, masking the uncertainty swirling within. After all, they were here to face challenges head-on. They weaved around the training center, the summer sun making the surrounding grass almost shimmer. As they rounded the corner, a small crowd had gathered near a set of practice nets. Marcus pushed through the throng of people until he saw the cause of the commotion. A group of younger athletes looked on, laughter mixing with shouts of encouragement. At the center of it all was a boy no older than Jamal, sprawled on the ground, clutching his knee. Come on, Jace. Get up. You're fine. Someone yelled from the sidelines. Marcus knelt beside the boy, who was grimacing but trying to pull himself up. Hey, take it easy, Marcus said, feeling a bond with this kid he didn't even know. Let us check that knee. Jamal watched intently, a mix of curiosity and admiration in his eyes. It wasn't just the physical action that held him spellbound, but the way his father's presence seemed to soothe the panicking boy. It's probably just a scrape, right? Jamal said, stepping closer. It's okay, Jace managed, wincing but offering a toothy grin. I'm tougher than I look. Yeah, you are. But let us be smart about this, Marcus advised gently. You need to take care of yourself, or you won't be able to get back on that field. As he spoke, Marcus felt a familiar warmth rise inside him. He had always wanted to instill in Jamal the values he believed in: trust, strength, and right judgment. Here, taking the lead, he was showing exactly that. Can we help? Jamal asked, surprising even himself with the eagerness in his tone. Marcus looked at his son, seeing how quickly he had grown, how he was ready to step up, ready to engage in this world that had once seemed daunting. Of course, he said, glancing back at Jace. The more, the merrier. Need any ice? Yeah, I should probably sit out for a bit, Jace admitted, a hint of embarrassment in his voice. Good call. Marcus nodded, proud that Jamal was finding his footing as part of this community. But just as his heart swelled, a metallic clanking drew his attention to the practice equipment strewn about in that moment. The worry that had accompanied him into the training center pushed forward again. Jamal, he said, turning to his son, you see how quickly things can change here? We have to stay aware. Jamal nodded, his expression shifting. He seemed to understand that navigating this world would not just be about speed or skill, but also about balance and making the right choices. As the crowd dispersed, Marcus sensed a weight lifted. They had faced something unexpected together, and perhaps that was what this journey was really about. Do you think it's all worth it? Jamal asked quietly as they started back toward the car. The training, the competition, everything? Marcus paused, searching for clarity. Growth often comes from the rough spots, son. It's how we learn to stand back up and keep moving forward. Jamal smiled slightly, the uncertainty still there, but tempered with the fire of determination. Suddenly, the sound of footsteps caught their attention. Walker was approaching, having witnessed the scene. Marcus, Jamal, got a minute? I want to discuss something important. Marcus's pulse quickened again. What could it be? Jamal shot his father a look of eager anticipation. Would this lead to the clarity they both craved? Did Walker see something in Jamal too? As Marcus regarded Walker, he felt a shiver of hope and uncertainty intertwine. Were they ready for the answers that were on the way? Is this about training? Jamal erupted, excitement dancing in his eyes. No, it's bigger than that, Walker replied, casting a glance back towards the practice field where the accident had occurred. Much bigger. Marcus felt a shiver run down his spine. What could possibly be next? Marcus could feel the tension in the air as Walker's words hung between them like an uninvited guest. He exchanged glances with Jamal, whose excitement rapidly turned to curiosity. What do you mean? Marcus asked, forcing his voice to remain steady despite the prickly sensation creeping up his neck. Walker shifted, his expression serious, making Marcus's heart race again. It's about the tournament. They're creating something new this year, an opportunity for underrepresented kids in our community. I think you and Jamal should be involved. Jamal's eyes widened. What kind of opportunity? It's a mentorship program, Walker explained. We're pairing kids like Jace with older mentors who can help them navigate the sport, but also life. You know, connecting the dots. It could really make a difference. Marcus felt the air thick with anticipation. This was bigger than training or competition. That sounds amazing, he said, trying to conceal the flicker of doubt that danced in his mind. But what exactly do we have to do? Just sharing your experiences, your journey. Jamal, I think you'd be a great role model. You've got the passion, and you know what it's like to be the new kid. Walker's gaze shifted back to Jamal, who was absorbing every word. Jamal beamed, excitement radiating from him. I'd love to help. He looked up at Marcus as if seeking his approval. Dad, this could be amazing. We could really make a change. Marcus felt torn. Did he have the time? The energy? But then he looked at Jamal's shining face, filled with eagerness and determination, and something stirred within him. If we do this, we dive in together. No half measures, he said firmly. Absolutely, Walker agreed. It's about building relationships, trust, and showing them they're not alone. Marcus couldn't shake the worry in his gut. It wasn't just about teaching skills. It was about guiding young hearts through the complexities they faced. What if we don't know what they really need? He asked. Walker placed a hand on Marcus's shoulder, grounding him. You'll learn together, just like the rest of us. The kids want authenticity, not perfection. They want to know you care. And honestly, I believe you have a lot to offer. As Marcus processed Walker's words, he knew this wasn't merely a chance to connect with others. It was an invitation to reflect on his own journey. The challenges he had faced as a single parent, battling through doubts, and trying to mold Jamal into the best version of himself, came rushing back. Could he give more than just physical support? I'll think about it, he finally replied, his heart pounding as he considered the path unfolding before them. Smart move, Walker replied, smiling as he stepped back, gauging their reactions. This isn't just about sports, it's about unity. The tournament starts next month. Get involved, and the kids will surprise you. Just wait and see. They exchanged goodbyes, but Jamal lingered a moment longer, a mix of emotions swirling in his expression. Do you think we can really help, Dad? Marcus looked into his son's eyes, realizing they were on the brink of something profound. We can try, buddy. We can definitely try. As they returned to the car, a somber weight pressed onto Marcus's chest, fear of inadequacy coupled with the thrill of possibility. Together, they could shape something meaningful, a legacy far beyond the field. What if they don't accept me? Jamal surprised him by asking. Then we show them who we are, Marcus replied, gripping the steering wheel a bit tighter. Suddenly, as if summoned by unspoken tension, a figure stepped into their path, a tall girl, serious and intent, eyes glinting in the sunlight. Hey, you two, she called, determination written all over her face. You heard about the mentorship program, and I need to talk to you. It's about Jace and what's coming. The air crackled with uncertainty again. Marcus and Jamal exchanged quick glances, a shared concern threading between them. What more did this girl know? And were they really ready to embrace whatever came next? Jamal stood frozen, still processing the whirlwind of words that had just come from Walker. The mentorship program could change everything. It was more than just a training opportunity. It was a chance to give back, to uplift others while navigating his own fight against the odds. Why? What is going on? Marcus asked the girl, curiosity and protectiveness mingling in his voice. There's going to be a challenge, she blurted out, urgency coloring her tone. An event for all the mentored kids where they showcase their progress, and there are awards for the top performers. Jace wants to make it, but he is nervous about failing. He looks up to you, Jamal. Jamal felt a flutter in his chest. Me? Yeah. If you show him what it takes, it could help him believe in himself. The girl's passion was infectious, and Marcus saw Jamal's eyes start to sparkle. Okay, Jamal said slowly, determination creeping back into his voice. I'll help Jace get ready. We can practice together. Marcus felt a surge of pride wash over him, but also an urgent need to talk this through with Jamal. Jamal, I know this is exciting, but remember what we discussed. Balancing school, training, and this mentorship program can get tricky. I know, Dad, Jamal replied, his enthusiasm unwavering. But this isn't just about me. It's about Jace too. I can do this. Marcus wanted to say no, but the fire in Jamal's eyes pulled at him. Could he really deny his son the opportunity to make a difference? Okay, I believe in you, Marcus finally said. Let us support Jace together. This can be a family effort, and we can take our time making sure it's manageable. Jamal's grin lit up the air around them. Thanks, Dad. Let us get started right away. As they piled into Marcus's car, the gravity of the decision settled in. The mentorship could bridge a gap for not just Jamal, but for Jace too, and perhaps even allow Marcus to connect deeply with his own fears and hopes as a father. The nervous energy was exhilarating. Over the next few days, as Jamal and Jace began meeting after school, Marcus watched his son transform. Jace's face lit up at their chess games, eagerness seeping into their conversations as he shared his struggles. At first, Marcus witnessed Jamal's pool of confidence swell with each small victory. But he also noticed the deeper struggles of self-doubt begin to surface. One rainy afternoon, Jamal came home after practice, shoulders slumped. He dropped into a chair and stared blankly at the wall. What if I'm not enough, Dad? He finally asked, voice trembling ever so slightly. Marcus walked over, kneeling beside him. You're more than enough, Jamal. You're not just playing to win. You're showing Jace the path. That's powerful. It's okay to feel scared. Being brave doesn't mean you're not afraid. It means you keep going despite it. Jamal's eyes shimmered, absorbing his father's words. The evening continued with them talking, laughing, sharing dreams of the future, and rekindling the passion that had led them here. The day of the challenge felt electric. The atmosphere was charged with the supportive buzz of families standing together, friends clapping, and community members cheering each other on. Marcus felt a resurgence of hope as he watched Jace take a deep breath beside Jamal. The boy was nervously adjusting his new tie, looking every bit the part. You got this, Jamal said quietly, a warm smile stretching across his face. It feels overwhelming, Jace admitted, glancing up nervously. Just focus on playing your best. Remember, it's just a game. Look at it like the fun we have practicing together. Jace nodded, Determination glimmering in his eyes, Marcus stood back, heart swelling with pride. This moment was at a convergence of dreams, family, and community, stitched together through chess. As the competition unfolded, Jamal shined, guiding Jace through their moves, keeping encouragement flowing. Jace won a few crucial matches that day, and the moment of laughter and triumph when he launched his pieces forward felt like everything they worked toward was finally converging. Later, as the results were revealed, Jace stood there, staring wide-eyed as he hugged a shiny trophy high above his head. The whoops and hollers of their community washed over them like a warm, golden wave. "Congratulations." Marcus beamed, pulling both boys into a hug. "We did it. We really did it," Jamal yelled, his spirit gleaming even brighter as they drove home that evening. The weight of everything they had accomplished settled softly around them. They had faced fears, embraced uncertainty, and even stepped into leadership roles together. More importantly, they strengthened their bond, transforming the wild dreams into something real. "Together, we made it happen," Marcus said, his voice thick with emotion. Jamal met his gaze and nodded, excitement ready to spill over again. "Now we get to do more of this. We can help others, prove what is possible," he declared, a fire ignited within him that felt impossible to extinguish as they pulled into their driveway. Marcus felt a serene calm wash over him. The chaos of the world outside faded away with every step. They had found their place, their purpose, and their power. "Let us keep this momentum going," Marcus said, pulling Jamal into an embrace, his heart swelling with pride. "Yeah, this isn't just the end," Jamal chimed back. "It's just the beginning." And in that moment, surrounded by love, hope, and endless possibilities, Marcus knew they'd keep evolving together, no matter the challenges that lay ahead. They were ready for anything. If that wasn't reason enough, he didn't know what was. You need to subscribe now to not miss the next exclusive stories. This is the moment to show your support. Leave a like now to feed the algorithm, and comment your reactions and feelings about this ending. Don't wait not even one more second to share this video with at least 5 friends who need to see this transformation. Give the gift of belief and growth today.